Hey, welcome. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 4 things that you need to know in order to get clients with cold emailing successfully. These 4 things are the cornerstone of what we do to make sure that our cold emailing is highly successful, and it's highly successful for all of our clients as well. So whether you're brand new to cold emailing and just getting started with it as a lead generation strategy, or you've done it for years, these fundamentals will help you to make sure that you're doing everything you can to close cold email clients successfully. The first piece that you need to know is about knowing your audience. And it sounds really simple. It sounds very, very rudimentary, very simple. Everyone knows their audience. Hey, Chris, it's marketing agencies or it's law firms or it's mortgage brokers. And then you go ahead and you build your whole campaign around mortgage brokers or law firms or something like that. But the big issue with that there is it's far, far too broad. Unlike with advertising, where you have to go quite broad in your messaging for it to work, cold email allows you to get extremely, extremely specific on the type of person that you want. So when we're doing any of our cold email campaigns at all, we always get hyper specific on the person that we're looking for and really build a cold email avatar, which is more detailed even than our advertising avatar. And why we do this is because if you're going to build a perfect offer and get really high response rates, you want to make sure that there's absolutely no one in your list of leads that you have that actually isn't a great fit for what your offer is, right? So if it's law firms, it might be law firms of a certain size, certain type of law that they practice. They're in a certain area. They do a certain type of marketing. That means that whenever you have your smaller lead list, it's smaller but far more potent. Same with mortgage brokers. They're a certain size team, certain type of mortgages they do with refinances, and they're practicing in a certain area or doing a certain marketing strategy. For recruitment, if you're looking to get people that need to hire staff, you want to go after mainly businesses that already have staff. And you might go after companies in a certain industry as well that have a certain type of staffing need that you know is either a higher average value of client or just more apt and likely to be hiring right now due to industry trends, because you want to make sure that your offer is as relevant to a very specific number of people, which means you have to get more granular in the detail of knowing your audience. So when you do your audience research or set up your campaign, go a few levels deeper on your actual audience that you're targeting, get the type of company, the ages, the amount of employees, the revenue size, because all this data is available to you. And if you're going after mortgage brokers, for example, and maybe you do a digital marketing retainer for them, well, if you're offering them a retainer and it's two, three, $4,000 a month, you really don't want to be targeting people that have under 100 or under $200,000 of revenue. They're far less likely to be a great candidate for that. Maybe firms over three, four, $5 million a year are just not a good fit either. So you end up with this range between 300,000 and $2 million. That's your first initial audience you've got. Then you can look upon each factor or data point you can get your hands on and figure out what you want to do. And you really build that audience down into something a lot smaller, but a lot more potent. And it's going to be a lot better results down the line because the relevance to your message is going to be way, way higher. The second biggest thing, and probably the biggest thing of them all, is deliverability. If people aren't seeing your message, it doesn't exist. It's as simple as that there these days. First thing, lead lists. Make sure the lead list you're getting are quality. The data in there is good to begin with. It's legitimate firms. It's verified. The emails are verified. And even if you get that list, the second thing we always do is we always scrub our data again after we've got it from somewhere to make sure that it actually is verified. The numbers, the emails, everything in there is verified. We'll take random numbers of it and we'll actually go look at the website, make sure the data matches, because you want to make sure that every person that's in that list is a good fit, is actually the right person. Because the more people you're sending to that aren't a good fit or just are not interested because of the wrong people, you are massively impacting your deliverability by doing that. Next thing you need to do is make sure you're warming up your email domains constantly. That's obviously a given for everyone, is make sure you're sending 30, 40, 50 emails per day out per email account that are for a warm up service. There's several elements in the description that you can actually use to help you do this, but make sure you're warming up your emails and make sure your domains are aged. If you try and set up a domain immediately and go cold email with it, your deliverability will suck. It's simple as that there. Want to get at least 30 days old domain, and really up to, once it's a year or older, it gets way, way, way better. So if you're watching this video right now and you're going to do some cold emailing soon, go buy a domain today. because that's the day that the aging starts from. So buy it as quickly as possible. Last quick tip on deliverability is to vary your copy, but never do that over different domains. So what we do is we write our cold email message. We have 3 or 4 or 5 variations of each message. So instead of sending message 1, 2, 3, 4, we've messaged 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, and we sequence that and vary it through the system. What that means is no single contact is really getting the same flow of messages very, very often, which allows us to send a lot higher messages because a provider is not going to see 400 or 4,000 of the exact same message going through over a couple of months. They're going to only see 40 or 50. And that allows you to keep the volumes higher, but make it look more personal, even if you are scaling it, if you're not doing fully personalized copy. But never do that across 2 different website domains like .co or .co.uk, because then it links the 2 together. And that's when you can start to see problems in deliverability, even if you're varying copy. You want to silo that completely. I'm going to do a whole video on deliverability. So in the comments, get below and let me know, have you ever had a problem with your deliverability or anything else you'd know about cold email? I'll be getting back to every single comment in there. So just comment below and let me know. The third point to look at is your messaging. A message varying your copy is a part of the deliverability side, but your messaging itself needs to be extremely polarizing and highly relevant to your ideal client. If they're not your ideal client, they wouldn't be interested at all in what you're offering. And for your ideal client, it is absolutely the best thing that they could have. So it can be just, we'll help you get more clients, or we'll help you save money on your marketing. They've heard all of that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. Getting into like the very specific type of client that they're looking for, getting into the type of marketing that they're doing and it's failing, you're making sure it's hyper relevant. And this will vary and depend upon what kind of company they are and the more personalization you put into it depending on where they are. But for your audience, this will be different for all of you. And this actually comes back into like the research stage and back into actually the knowing your audience stage. The better you know them, the better you can craft a message where like, this is the perfect thing. Another hack you can do with this is if you're running any advertising at all at the minute and it's working really well, we've taken our ads and massaged them into cold emails. And actually they've worked really, really well, because if it works really well to our audience as an advertising message, we're able to hone it in, tighten it up, and create a really compelling cold email message as well through that. So there's 2 ways just to do that, but make sure that your cold email messaging is super relevant. It's talking about like the specific kind of clients, the right amount of quantity. Maybe it's about less clients, more quality. If that's what they want, because certain firms like accounting, they don't really want more clients. They can get all the clients in the world. They're usually quite low value clients. They're really wanting big, high value, high quality, certain specific types of client. And if you go in with a get more clients message, a lot of the good ones are like, I don't want more clients. I have enough clients. But they would be like, if you could say, I can get you this client, they'd be like, yeah, I'm interested in that. So looking at it that way is extremely important. The last thing you need to know, and probably the biggest thing that has made the most difference to our success in cold email that I never really see many people do very well, is making use of your activity data that you're actually seeing from your cold emails. Most people, they set a cold email campaign up, they put 100, 500,000 prospects, whatever it is, into the pipeline, and they put 4 or 5 emails there, and they just let the people go through and just see who comes out of it. And that's great, and it can work, and it does work. But what we were able to make the most success from was looking at all the activity data that was coming out there. Who was opening, who was clicking, who was then going into our website, and through analytics traffic, we could track what pages they ended up in. So who was actually taking these actions on our website? Who were they? Why were they doing that? Because instead of having to get the 100, 500, 1,000 people and just giving them the same journey throughout, we could tailor the journey for people depending on what they were doing. And if you've got a sales team, if you have an appointment set, or even if yourself, you're making calls to these clients, you want to speed the process up and you're making cold calls out, well, don't make calls to everyone. Make calls to people who are opening 3, 4 emails, people who are clicking your emails, who are going through to your educational content on your website, because those are way higher priority and they have a much higher chance of converting. We audited all of our cold calls that were going on to our cold email leads, and the ones that opened and clicked converted at a far, far higher rate than the ones that didn't take any action on it, because they knew our names, they knew who we were, and they were engaging and showing a level of interest. So make sure to use your activity data. I see very few people actually doing this with their businesses. They just run the campaigns and let them go. And honestly, this is the most potent thing that we've ever done with our cold emailing. So that is one of the biggest hacks I can give you for scaling successfully and getting clients. Want to make sure that you're doing cold emailing as successfully as you can? You can actually get access below this video to my $400,000 cold email sequence and get access to our cold emailing checklist to make sure you've ticked all of the boxes to doing this as effectively as possible to get clients. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment below this video. And if you're looking for more ways to get leads for your business, check out this video on the top B2B lead generation strategies that you need to be using. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.